Grace Potter was a lot of fun. I mean, it's all fun, but some of it you just don't know what to do. You're in between, and you don't know, really when you're home, when you're streaming or when you're not. But Grace is a lot of fun. I think they got really drunk.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then the fireworks went off. That was fun.
That was. We should have done some in the bus. No, I thought you were going to arrange that.
It wasn't up to me.
Okay.
They were really stern about those fireworks.
Yeah, I know.
Remember when we get too close, this man would come up and like,
get away! Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to push you
They point
into
us over. No, it was the opposite.
I know. So, what was the question again?
Craziest time on the bus.
Craziest time on the bus. Well, we're not allowed to do anything illegal, or we get disqualified. So you can imagine.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You got a list of stuff that you couldn't do?
Well, if it's illegal, think about it. You can't smoke pot. You can't really, I mean, we can drink because we're adults, but we're not allowed to be drunk in public. We're not allowed to, we're not allowed to be naked. We're not allowed to do any of these things that we would do normally just without thinking about it.
Are there some rules from the Guinness World Record?
There's a lot of rules, but we don't want to make it seem like it's a bummer because they're very nice. But they don't.
There's strict rules.
They are. They don't want anybody to get hurt or anybody to get put in jail or anything like that. Trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Or tatter the Guinness name.
I agree.
I imagine.
Yeah. As if the guy that weighs 6,000 pounds and eats his own boogers, as if that doesn't tatter it enough. I know. No, but I don't know. I mean, they told us in the beginning that there's rules, you can't speed, all these sorts of things, but I don't know. We haven't broken that many or gotten caught
or
any.
Something.
Yeah.
So, Wayne, you have a lot of friends.
I do, yeah.
How do you choose somebody you want to collaborate with?
Well, I think mostly that they want to, and it's that we have the time. I mean, we did a lot of things with groups that didn't work out. We would sometimes only have a day or two to mess with music and see where it went. But I don't know. A lot of it's just dumb luck. That you get together and something good happens.
Yeah, I read your article that you did last week in Rolling Stone about how working with Kesha and Coldplay took like a year. They're like lawyers, and does that bum you out?
No. I mean, luckily for us, it didn't. I mean, there's a lot of, with big artists like that, there's layers and layers of contracts and people have to sign off. And I think when we got into it with them, we all kind of agreed that we would go a different route. We'd say, come on, let's just do this quick. Trying to make the record store day. But a lot of people were asking me, why isn't Chris Martin on the iTunes version of it? And that's really why, because once you go to iTunes, it was a whole other layer of negotiations, contracts, and all this sort of stuff. And it wasn't that we didn't want to. It was just we had to agree to the one. We had to agree to the thing that was going to come out on Record Store Day. And once we agreed to that, the other thing wasn't negotiable. And that's fine. I mean, Chris Martin is a very sweet, generous guy. And I asked him to do some music, because we've been friends for a long time. But he was on tour. And I asked him to do some music. Well, I sent him our piece of music, and he did something to complement it. And about 8 hours later, I had some music from him. I mean, how great is that?
He must not be very busy now.
No, I think he just did it right into his laptop at a sound check or something. And that's what a lot of people did. That's I think like Kesha did that. I know, right at her house.
Do you work on your computer a lot? Or?
I don't. I mean, I'm good with my phone, but I'm not good at all with computers. But luckily, I have a lot of super geniuses. You look great. But I have a lot of super geniuses who help me do anything I want or anything that they can think of. So yeah, it's good. It's a good world for me. Yeah, I get to think of dumb stuff, and people help me do it.
You have a question over here, Wayne.
Yeah.
So, what's been the biggest surprise on the tour so far?
That it is difficult. I mean, getting sounds together. Being fatigued. The disorganized thing when you get there, because it's presented as a party, like we're all having fun, but some things it's difficult to do. There's lots of people there, and it's supposed to be fun, but we're used to that. I mean, that's kind of why we agreed to do it, because we thought we don't want it to be some boring thing where technicians have to go in and the crowd has to be somewhere else. So that's difficult, and it's difficult to do it in the time that you're supposed to. I believe we're already behind schedule, but this time, this end of the road here, the next couple of shows is where we can make take up some time or not.
Easily.
I think so.
I have a question for the press. Well, are you guys all based out of Biloxi? Like, what are you guys all doing here?
I'm based on
Getting staff, photographers, and wire image.
Were you all ready?
You guys is what we're
Yeah, he's
doing.
been here the whole time, yeah.
You've been on the whole tour.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
seen him
the
every
only
spot.
one.
Oh, you guys been here the whole time.
Use the mic, please. We can't hear you.
We have a question over here.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Hattiesburg experience, because it looked like
What
that
was
wasn't.
Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg was first thing in the morning, and
Oh,
the
at
one
7 o'clock.
where it looked like an entire town was just incredibly moved to have y'all show
Well,
up.
I think so. Yeah, I think, and is it Hunter Hayes? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I think they liked him a lot too. I just think the idea of VH1, the Flaming Lips, and all this, this fuss was coming to us. It's a little place, and if that was all you had to do was, get up at 5 and go see a couple of bands and get high and get drunk, go back home and go to sleep. That'd be a great day, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
That doesn't happen every day there,
it doesn't. And maybe it should.